Hello and welcome back to Canadian Vintage. And what poor timing for the rain to arrive. As soon as we got to the shop on our open cab tractor, go figure. I did give it a wash as well before we left the farm, but I guess that doesn't matter because of the rain. Now I don't know if we can chop in the rain, but I think we can without any sort of issues as far as, you know, harvesting deficits or lack of whatever. I don't know. I think we should be fine. But yeah, we had to bring the Oliver down because this kind of pin attach doesn't fit on the truck. That's absolutely fine, but we do need a header to go with our chopper. Nothing in the sale, unfortunately, for us to benefit from, so that's fine. We will go down to forage headers here, and we'll go for the corn header, which can do many other things, except of course for hay swath. Hay, straw, grass, all that, clover, alfalfa, it looks like alfalfa hay, all sorts of different straw. So yeah, maybe in the future this would be a useful tool for, I don't know, if we want to collect hay a different way. But what we do need is this. So let's go ahead and purchase that for $8,000. I know it says euro, but right, got to find a middle ground between euros, pounds, and pounds right now. The only ones that don't make sense, to be honest. Right, let's with the series I've got on for now. Anyways, let's get this connected and make our rainy way back to the farm. But we can get... Can we though? I don't know what's going on here. It's very precarious. Is this not the right way to do this? Oh wait, do we have to unfold it? Oh, it's cheeky monkey. Right, and with ease we can just attach like that. Happy days. We'll get that folded back up. Does this have to be attached in any other way? Any hoses or anything? Nope, just like that. Alright, brilliant. And yeah, we'll get our trailer attached on there, the FORAGING, and then we'll be able to start our chop-in. I don't know if we will do it in the rain. There's no sign of rain stopping, so I guess we'll just have to head back to the farm and see what happens. Alright, well, as you can see, it's finally stopped raining. I did leave a bit of time for the ground to dry just a little bit, but I thought in the meantime we'd at least get some food in to the cows, as I know they are always hungry, always hungry. And in fact, making these mixes now is becoming something of a faff because we're only doing one mix at a time. Just that's the way it's been going, to be honest. But yeah, I think a mixing silo would be the best bet. There were some suggestions as well for or at least one suggestion for a different kind of loft that can also hold silage. And I thought about that, but I think I prefer just keeping it in the pit or in a mixer, just to again stick with the realistic sort of aspect of all things. But at least now we can feed the cows and we can crack on with the foraging, which is something I was so excited to do. And then of course it would just start raining as soon as I wanted to start, so go figure with that. But no matter, because we can crack on now. So we'll just leave this here. That's all good to go. Let's get this over to the cows and get them fed. I don't think they were completely empty, but they were nearly empty. So let's check. Again, they have meadow grass, which I probably won't be cutting because just getting in there is not possible unless we get a new mower for... Oh, crikey, I need a new tractor for this, I think. It's really struggling. Or, as I say, I will switch to one of those mixers that I was on about before, and then we won't have to worry about using this tractor for that. But in time. Let's see. Were they completely skint, or are they all right? Ooh, I think they did have some before we fed them, because they're still at full productivity, so that's good. Everyone else is fine. We can feed the chickens later. Cows are fine. We'll let this finish up. I did notice as well with the Oliver that I don't think it's going to be the best tractor for foraging. It might be better to transport the trailer and then leave the Alice in the field. But I think, yeah, having the bigger Alice on the forager might be our best bet. The reason I'm thinking that is because the Oliver is just a little bit wider than the Alice. As you can see, it's got quite a wide wheelbase, like this way, like width-wise, from, you know, wheel to wheel, but too much so, I think, that it might cause issues with the forager. I think that the pickup is just behind the wheel, and I did notice that as I was approaching the field here, and I thought, well, let's test the Alice, and the Alice is a little bit less wide on the back wheel. So we're going to try. That's another reason why I wanted to wait for the rain to stop, because even if we don't lose any sort of, even, you know how it says, oh, if it's raining and you harvest, you lose a yield, blah blah blah. I don't think that happens with chopping, but we will get stuck in the field with rain regardless. And it's foggy as now, can't see anything. What a day. What a September so far, my goodness gracious. Anyways, I do have the Alice all ready to go, so we're just going to park up the Oliver here in the, you know, in the chance that we'll need it for transporting. I can't say for certain that we will, but I think this looks better on here anyways. The Alice is physically a bigger tractor, like taller, and I like the wheels are a bit taller as well, but the wheel width is what saves us here. So I'll show you what I mean. When we unfold it, right, it was worse with the Oliver. It was quite a bit worse with the Oliver. So I think we should be fine here. I'm going to try this in first person though. I just think it'll be better, because yeah, unfortunately we can't extend out anymore. We can't like rotate or pivot the hitch, unfortunately, but that is absolutely fine. Let's get that pipe facing into the Forage King, and we will get lined up right here. I'm so excited to get this started. So let's begin. Right, if we lower that down, oh wait, hang on, we need to switch over to it, to the header. Right, that's fine. Here, we want it lowered. Now we should be, it should start. Hey, we've got chaff, look at that. We are doing the business. So yeah, we'll just stay as close as we can to the very edge of the crop. And thank goodness I put a path in here, because if there was no path, then we'd be in the crop. So that's kind of one benefit to having this separation of the fields. Even if we were to put corn in this field up here with the grass in, I still think it would be a better idea to have the path here. I was tempted actually, and I might still do depending on how things lay out, but right now we've got obviously this path that splits the corn and the grass. That grass may not be enough for the future. For now it's fine. I think we can get enough hay from that to supplement TMR and goats. We've got so much goat food now, and by that I mean hay. So they've got lots of hay in their barn at the moment, so I'm not too worried about the goats and feeding them. More worried about having hay for TMR mixing. But I'm also not worried about that because we've got so much grass here. I am going to replace the grass up at the other farm. I'm not going to let it grow fully to harvest again. I am going to get that turned round to something. Basically, every field at the North Farm can be converted to something else. All those fields are empty. So with the sunflowers, which are going to be ready for harvest next month, should be, we don't really need protein. We could use the sunflowers for oil, but I don't know, I do think it would be better off to save it for protein for the pigs and then convert the rest to oil as we sort of go. Oh, hello. Okay, let's get close to that again. Yeah, the first row here is going to be a bit difficult. Oh, in fact, I've just thought, how are we going to do this? We might have to go all the way around first, because how are we going to go down this side? We might have to make a small sacrifice on this side. Now I know I don't have crop destruction enabled because of the crop issues we had before, but we might just have to sneak through here, to be honest. So if we can get turned around here, let's turn that off for now. Okay, so far so good though. Look at that, 10,000 litres of chaff. That's basically our loading wagon worth of chaff, and we still have room for so much more. But I'm going to try just turning around here. Maybe straight to the pit, turn around. I don't know if we can unload because we don't have the PTO attached, which is why I think having one tractor to do this and another tractor to do the loading might be the best thing to do. But yeah, okay, this might be a bit cheeky. Oh, we've got these stupid poles here. I think I can go through them. Right, next time we might have to rethink how we do this. Yeah, hopefully these aren't. I mean, this works if there was no orange thing there. But we're going to say that we can go straight round it. Okay, thank goodness for that. Yeah, let's just pretend they're not there for now, just for the sake of all things. Should I though rectify this with a bit of extra grass to be able to come along here, or do you think this is fine? I don't know. Either way, I'm fine with it for now. As long as we can get to the end of the field without needing to turn around or something, because we're in a bit of a precarious situation between the crop and this fence. But it's coming along. I mean, we're gonna have so much. Oh my god! I just realised how crazy this job is going to be, especially at the rate we're going. Right, these bushes are very inconvenient, but that's fine. As long as we are harvesting the chaff, well, foraging, I should say. But it's going well, I would say overall. See how we get on this side. But yeah, I could put a small sort of separation between the crop and the fence here, just so that we can sort of, I guess, more realistically do this. Now remember, this is the very first time that we do. Ooh, okay, now we're getting tight here. Oh, there we go. Opens up a bit. This is the first time doing chaff, so this will be just a lesson learned, I suppose, for the next time, however we want to do it in the future. But as it stands, we've managed to do nearly a full headland here, and we haven't filled the trailer, so that's both good and bad. Good because, I mean, because yeah, it's just so much chaff, and bad because we want more chaff, but let's not get greedy. Alright, officially completed a headland, so now we'll have no issues going around. So it's only the first sort of pass that we have any sort of spacing issues, so really could be a lot worse. But as it stands, we are getting chaff in, and I'm so excited about it. Let's have a look here. Oh, never mind, we can't see anything. Look at that. If I go any further out, it's literally invisible. It's quite moody though, isn't it? It's nice in a moody, invisible way. So we'll stay in first person and crack on with the job. Alright, well, I have a few takeaways from that little session that we did. We barely made a dent in the field, about I think two headlands. Oh, and we still got some chaff in somehow, I missed some. Anyways, that's fine. Okay, so first things first, I did reduce the time to 2 times speed, which normally I don't do, but in this case it seems appropriate because it's a lot of chaff. We're going to have a big job here. It doesn't all have to be turned to chaff either. We can harvest some as corn, which might have to happen, depending on how much we actually get. Because so far, we've got basically more chaff than we've ever had in a pit, and that's 2 passes with the forager. As far as grass goes, we've never had this much in. Yes, I probably should have got a bigger pit, but that is fine. I don't know where to stop. I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of liters we should stop at. But basically, yeah, I don't know what to make of this. I'm really disappointed in the Oliver's lack of consistency with the PTO. It works with this, sometimes. There we go. But it doesn't work with the wagon. So I've had to flip things around, which is very disappointing. Yes, at least it does work with this, but I didn't want to use it with this because, yeah, it was a bit wider, and so it wouldn't see what I mean. Whereas the Alice, it lined up really nicely, so disappointed with that. Pleased that this still works at least, thank goodness, but it also didn't work with our mixer. So that's 1 for 3. PTO not working. I don't know what else it doesn't work with. I don't know. We're both mostly using it for, I guess, drilling and such, so we don't need a PTO for that, at least for now. I guess we could look at the map and see how things are going along. I've also thought that if we do end up I haven't even touched it, really. We've barely got into the field. So what this has me thinking is that we don't have to do foraging for chaff to make silage again in the next year, meaning that if we replant this field as corn again, we are not going to be making chaff of it. We would absolutely take the corn and dry it. The other thing is we could put this into a smaller field, so for next time for doing chaff. So if we don't, because we got 56,000 liters from 2 headlands, well, was it even 2 full ones, or maybe 2, or nearly 3, 2.5, to the point where like this could be our silage and this could be our grass. Do you know what I mean? So either we split this field again, or we just keep it as corn and then dry the corn that we get out of it next time. I don't know if chaff yields higher or not. I'm not sure if it does. Like then corn, for example. I'm just not too sure what to do. I mean, I don't mind the setup that we're doing, having to switch back and forth. Yes, it'll take ages. We could also look at something like this, which is what I had on my American vintage, because it is appropriate for that. We would still have the whole faff of having to disconnect from this, hook it up to a tractor, but at least we would be able to go straight through the field, and it would be done somewhat quicker as well. But it is $60,000 so versus the 20. We did pay 8 for this, so we could sell it around probably for 10, sell the header back for about 7.5, maybe 7, so that would be 17, and then put that towards this. But we'd also need the header for it, which is 13.5 or 17.5 if we want to make some serious dent, but I think this one would be fine. It does have me wanting to make that switch, maybe not this first year, because I don't mind kind of grinding it out. This would have been brilliant to see in the sale. If it was, easy buy. But I think we just have to kind of crack on with it, to be honest. So I'm just really disappointed with how that works. Kind of with this too, with the way that the PTO goes through there, but not as bad, I think, as the as not being able to hook any PTO up in that way to the Oliver. So what I'm going to do is just have a little bit of a look around. I might actually fix up this area here as well, so we can drive a bit further back. I'm hoping that I can level it a bit further back, to be honest. Yeah, just leveling this area, so when we go to the end, we can turn around without mounting this little hill. And then we'll put sort of a path in. So I'm going to do that now, because even if we go all the way and then put a path straight into this way, we'll dodge the trees for now, but we can, yeah, if I can come out here, like going around the trees like that, that would be good. Because then at least we have a sort of a normal path through, and that will also indicate where we can place our mixer. Because I think, yeah, having a TMR mixer, oh sorry, TMR mixer stationary is still a good shout. Even though it's a bit more European style, it's okay. We'll just say that an Italian built it or something like that. Anyways, all right, I'll do a bit of leveling over here, see how things kind of go, and then we can crack on with it. All right, well, as you can see, we are fully back at it here, keeping it at 2 times speed. We're just going to crack on with the chaff work for as long as we can. I guess it's not the worst thing in the world that the Oliver doesn't always work with the PTO. Would be nice if it did, but at least, as I say, at least it works for this. So it is a big job, though, that's without a doubt, and we do have to get it done in September. We can't really faff around with it in October because it will be ready to harvest, and at that point I would be a bit more tempted actually to just go ahead and turn it to actual corn and then dry it, which I think might still happen. It really depends on how much we get in here. Now, there is a chance in the future that we will remove or sell that pit that we have to make way for a harvest store, you know, one of those big tall silos that can turn chaff to silage. But for now, I think I'm just going to try and fill that pit as full as I bloody can for now. Unfortunately, as I said, it is a September job. So yeah, we might be in September for at least a handful of a couple episodes at least. But that again is the beauty of this series. We have the long and slow gameplay, which makes, I think, makes this series so fun for me to play, and I think for some to watch as well. Well, hopefully more than some, hopefully most of you. But anyways, what the plan of attack is here is just to crack on with the chaff, because now that we're kind of in the field, I feel a bit more confident in the fact that we are going to be able to get all of this turned to chaff without needing to harvest. But the nice thing is, well, actually they're not the nice, but I would love to get in here with the gleaner, and we will next month. October is sunflower month, which is another reason why I don't really want to have this job overflow into October, because that will be exclusively for the sunflowers. I would like it to be that way at least. So as I said about all the other things like moving the corn to another area or something like that, will really just depend on how much chaff we get. Yes, this is a slow job, and yes, I am willing to upgrade to that Fiat, the Heston rather, whenever possible. Oh right, we didn't crack on this way, I'll have to get that done first. But yeah, basically I'm willing to make that upgrade, but it really depends. I want to do this whole field, if I can, with this setup. And I know it's mental because it's relatively small, but our Forage King is an absolute beast, so I'm very happy with that. And yes, I know it will take a long time, but I'm wondering though, what's going to come first? A full pit or the end of the field? I find it hard to believe that we can't fill that pit. There's 56,000 litres, which is 2 trailer full. That's only 2 trailers full. This thing does hold 28,000 litres, which is pretty mad. Not to mention all the bits that we probably will end up missing along the way. But I feel as though if we were to do this as all is silage, then we wouldn't have to do any sort of chaff work or any kind of silage work for at least a year. Now, I don't know what the real life expectation or life expectation of silage is. For example, what I mean by that is if we have silage in the pit and we don't end up using it all within a year, would it in real life, would it go bad? I mean, technically it is fermenting. Will it go beyond fermenting and become rotten? That's my only concern. I don't know how much those TMR mixers hold. I imagine they hold quite a bit though, but I don't know how much of each ingredient, so to say, that they hold. So between silage, hay and straw. We are going to basically use that as a sort of a storage, similar to the loft in terms of putting hay and straw and all that in, but silage, of course, when we have more to put in. But I do think I'd like to place one of those today so that we can start the mixing process, and it'll give us a better idea as well as to how much we're going to need for silage and all that. We can afford the mixer now, so that's really good, and I think it's a better call than the mixing truck. Just because, yeah, all we would need on top of that would be maybe a separate trailer that the McCormick may struggle with, but we will have to see how that goes. Right, I'm just going to go straight across here and then go back around the other way, because we have a bit of an awkward section over here. So let's go deal with that right now, and then we'll just crack on with it, because such a moody day though. I do quite like, I know that we've got sun coming, and I didn't want to go to fully real time, but I also want to get this done before sooner than later. Like I would like to get this done this month. Like I say, I think I want to get all the chaff done, so going at 2 times speed should be fine. Once we finish this load though, so I'm just going to keep on going until this is full at least, because then I want to show you what I've done at the other area as well, because I've kind of cleaned it up. I had to chop a tree down, but that's fine, and I'll show you kind of where I want to place the mixer, although I think I'll need to bucket some of that silage out of the way before, because I don't want it to disappear. I don't want the building to, like, you know, remove some of the silage. So we might have to go in and get the truck and all that to get that sorted. But I think as things stand, yeah, that would be the best call to make, to get that in. So yeah, we're just going to finish this up, and I mean, any other suggestions of how we can do a more efficient silage making in the future, please do let me know, aside from the Heston, of course, because that is definitely it's definitely an option, but I just don't really want to spend the money on that now, especially since we've only just now got, you know what, this is fine, I'm going to take this load now since we're right here. But yeah, since we only just got this chopper and I was very excited to use it, and I still am, and I'm glad that I'm using it, but I think it would be very beneficial for the future to have a bigger chopper, especially when we want to have as many cows as we want to have. So let's go and just shuffle this over, because I'm almost thinking that we might get to a point with the series where we have to stay on like 3 times or 2 times speed consistently with how much on we've got on, and I want to bring in pigs as well as a couple other productions, so it's always going to be growing. I know I've said I wanted to slow things down, and in a way I am, by reducing the time, because I'd rather, instead of taking things away from the series, I'd rather expand the series and have more time to do what I want to do in the series. I think that'll be better for the longevity of it as well. But if I can go nice and slow, oh hello, nice and slow here. So basically we would get about 100,000 litres on like to cover the bottom of the pit, which is exactly what we're kind of doing here. So maybe, yeah, maybe this much actually. This is not going to work very well. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. We do have the big loader to be able to compact everything. But yeah, see, path through, really nice. That, I think, really nice. Now, as I say, I'd like to place the mixer here. So let's just have a cheeky peek, though, just really quickly to see. Oh, I think it's in factories. There we go. Yeah. So there's the brick one, and then there's the white one. I quite like the brick. I know, as I said, that it is a it's a very European style, because you can even see with the 3 meter sign there. that's kind of a dead giveaway. And the little the things on the bottom there. Anyways, it doesn't matter because it's still doing the same job. But where to put it? I guess if we put it like this, we wouldn't have to worry about the silage that's there. And we'd have room for another pit if we really wanted it. But I almost don't want to have room for another pit. Oh, this pit is going to be so full. But even if you think about it, there's what, 75,000 litres in there. And we can get it at least triple that height. Quadruple that height before we have to panic. So I guess we'll just keep going on and see what happens. The cows are fed, so there's no major rush to place this now. I might wait until we do a few more passes to see. But if we put it like this, we don't have to worry about that silage that's there. But I think we also need mineral feed. We do. Yeah, we'll need mineral feed as well to add in here. But I think it takes the proper amount. So we can just put a pallet in and we don't have to worry about the ratios of any of it because it'll automatically make what it needs to make. And I'm A-okay with that. And then we just get the TMR at the bottom there. So yeah, we could even get another self-propelled trailer, as in like a truck, and use that for the food. But yeah, I think something like this would be good. I mean, we could place it like this, and then we could go, the silage go directly into it. But no, I think I prefer like this, yeah. Because then when we get bales made and all, we can put them straight in, and slightly at an angle as well. It's fine. I was thinking like this actually. Just because then this space could be more open in that. But I don't know. Anyways, we're not going to place it just yet. As I say, I would like to shift that silage maybe out of the way if necessary, and then we can do that. But what we'll do in the meantime is, again, this is just to kind of make some serious waves on this harvest. We're gonna have a look at the map though here, just to see how we've actually done, because I know that it's, oh goodness gracious, it's a bit thicker. That purple harvested line there is a bit thicker than it was before, but still a job at hand. But now that we don't have any faffing to do, because I know I had a few things extra going on in that initial time lapse that made it so that we couldn't quite get as much chaffing done as we could, but this one will be exclusively for chaff. So we're going to chaff like mad and see how far we get. Right, there we go. Another load of chaff delivered. Now, I've actually had a thought midway through that session, which will make the next chaff loading much easier, I think, if it works. We'll find out though. But here we have 136,000 litres. Call it 137. And we've done a quarter of the field. Actually, you know what? It's hard to gauge, but we've done more than it looks, because if you were to combine these two sections together, we'd be about halfway done, I would say. So I think we're nearly 50%, maybe a bit more, done on this field. So we did a good chunk of it today, very pleased about that. So I'm going to say we're going to have no more than 300,000 litres, because there's a lot of spillage here as well. But I think that is an appropriate amount for this pit. So we won't need another pit, which is good. I don't want to need another pit, to be honest with you. What I've also decided, so I remember on American Vintage I used Follow Me because I had the Fiat Heston chopper, the self-propelled one, and it was great. But the issue I had was that I was using it, I think I ended up using Follow Me, I really can't remember at this point, but instead of using Follow Me, what I'm going to try and do, because I might still have to, but what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to, hopefully this works, I'm going to do it for the next episode, but I'm going to take the Oliver with the chopper, stick it in the field, and set a helper on it. If it doesn't work with a helper, which it might not, with chopping is a bit funny depending on the mods as well, and I can run alongside driving the Alice, with the helper on the Oliver, it might cost us a bit more money because we'll have a helper obviously, but they'll be stopped for a while we come to unload, but there won't be any faff with driving the tractor here, unhooking the trailer, reattach, you know what I mean? It's a bit of a faff. So if we can make that work, then I think it'll make the next foraging session much less of a faff. But we'll see how it goes. As it stands now though, we are basically on the right path. I'm even if we have to continue doing it this way, we're making progress. And it looks brutal right now, obviously, because we're 24% compacted and lots of spillage, but it's coming along. And then we'll be able to build our TMR mixer and all that as well. It's all coming together, and I'm very happy that I got to do some chopping, even if it's mad, absolutely mad. Right, that does it for the end of this one. I know it's hard to tell when the time lapses end up being, obviously, like for me, like 20 minutes, but for you to watch, it's like a minute, 2.5 or something. So it can be hard to gauge. But so yeah, I know there was a lot of time lapses in this one. It's because it's just a massive job, really. But I'm going to try that in the next one and see how it goes. As far as if we need Follow Me, then I can always add it in and do it that way. But I would like to try and do it with just the base game helpers, and crossing my fingers that it'll work. But we will find out in the next one. But great progress so far. Very happy with it. So thank you so much for all your support and for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, cheeky thumbs up always does help out the channel. And if you're new, please subscribe. Until the next one though, please do take care, and bye for now.